The city of Cape Town believes that hosting an Olympic Games will bring an injection of much-needed development and social upliftment. The committee working on the 2036 Olympic and Paralympic bid met with a high-profile French delegation, including Sports Ambassador Samuel Ducroquet and Minister of Sport Gayton Mckenzie yesterday. Ducroquet joins us now from Cape Town. Monsieur Ducroquet, bonjour et bienvenue.
Bonjour. Merci beaucoup.
Je vous en prie. Thank you so much for coming through to speak to us. Let's start with the key learnings from the Paris Paralympic and Olympic Games in 2024 that can be transferred potentially to potential hosts.
Well, first of all, we must acknowledge the fact that we're pretty happy with the outcome of the Paris 2024 Games, both from an organizational and sports point of view. So I would say that the main takeaway from Paris 2024 is that we managed to actually be up to the challenge of delivering spectacular games that we really wanted to convey from an international point of view, but also make it also sustainable games, both from an environmental and financial point of view. This was absolutely critical for the Paris 2024 edition, in addition to which we really wanted to make it popular games with a great deal of solidarity. So these are the main takeaways from Paris 2024, managing to have spectacular games that will actually shake the world, but at the same time make them sustainable.
When you look back at Paris 2024 and after all is said and done, would you say that all the targets were achieved in terms of hosting a spectacle, one, and making sure that, the people of Paris and those, from outside France and other neighboring countries come to the Games and enjoy the spectacle?
Well, yeah, many boxes were ticked at the Paris 2024 Games. Of course, we can always do better. I can mention a few things that we wish we would have improved. For example, we managed to achieve gender parity, equality for the Olympic Games with the exact same number of male and female participants. Yet we didn't manage to do so for the Paralympics, and we really hope that the next organizer will manage to achieve this critical objective. But yet, overall, I think we're extremely satisfied with the outcome. We made popular games, meaning that we achieved to organize games that were open to the wider audience, thanks to the organization, for example, of competitions taking place at the heart of the city, with, for example, 1 million people attending the road race cycling competitions, the triathlon competition, 360,000 people attending the opening ceremony on the River Seine. So that is quite an achievement. And obviously the fact that we hosted 16 million visitors, 1.9 million foreign visitors is something that we're really proud of. But mostly I would say that we're also proud of the legacy that we're leaving behind. The fact that we're managing to build a more sporting nation, a more dynamic population, and we can see that in the numbers of people actually flocking to federations and sports clubs in France right now. It's a truly positive outcome.
Now, what do you think makes Cape Town, well, considering your experience with the Games, a potential good host city choice for 2036?
Well, I think Cape Town has many assets, obviously. The landscape, the spectacular venue of Cape Town makes it a unique place, and I cannot imagine a better place for the Games to actually take place. It is also a city that is very much used to organizing sporting events. I mean, we had, as you mentioned in your introduction, discussion yesterday with the sports minister, but also the city of Cape Town, and they mentioned the hundreds of sporting events they organize each year. So there is the capacity, there is the know-how. Now, what maybe needs to be addressed is the new ways of organizing sporting events. And one of the takeaways of Paris 2024 is that you can actually organize the Olympics or the Paralympics without resorting to the construction of dozens of long-lasting infrastructures that can eventually become white elephants, as we mentioned them in the jargon. So resorting to temporary infrastructures is something that we learned to do, and it proved to be pretty efficient, because having a skateboarding or BMX competition site at the heart of Paris, at the foot of the on the Place de la Concorde, is something that really I think left a long-lasting image. And I don't think so many people thought it would be possible to organize at first. I could also mention equestrian right in front of the Château de Versailles. So those postcards are not only beautiful images of France and its magnificent sites, it's also a technological, really great achievement. And I think this is something that Cape Town could also learn from without resorting to the construction of new infrastructures.
I think you touched on some of the points, but what are some of the key takeaways, Monsieur Ducroquet, on the meeting that you had with the Minister and the City of Cape Town yesterday?
This was a very, very interesting meeting. Actually, it was my second meeting with the working group, but my first encounter with the Sports Minister, Minister Mckenzie. I could feel a really strong will to embark on a journey that is not only going to be about organizing a sporting event, but transforming lives of people over here and making it potentially, once again, a great investment for the city, but not only for the city, for the country and potentially other countries as well. So I could feel a sense of excitement, a bit like we felt at the beginning of the Paris 2024 journey, when we were thinking and reflecting on what could be the legacy, what could be the long-lasting impact of having the games at in Paris and here in Cape Town. So I think the takeaway of yesterday's meeting is, okay, who is willing to embark on this great journey?
Yeah, and just finally, briefly, if I may, Monsieur Ducroquet, what advice would you give to Cape Town as we keep a plan for 2036?
Well, if I could give an advice, I think it would be about unity behind the project. Organizing the games shouldn't be a top-down decision. It should be a collective decision, a collective journey between the authorities, both the national authorities, but also the local governments on the one hand. On the other hand, also the sports community and the public opinion. And all these different participants, all these different stakeholders must work together if they want to deliver games that have a purpose. This is probably another takeaway, another advice that I would give to future candidates for the organization of the games. This is something we learned in Paris, with the city of Paris, the region Île-de-France, and the government working all together. Although they didn't necessarily come from the same political background, managed to embark and actually rely very much on the sports movement to make it unique games.
Right. Monsieur Ducroquet, merci beaucoup.
Avec plaisir. Thank you so much.
All right, je vous en prie, Monsieur Samuel Ducroquet, talking to us there about the meeting that they had with the Minister of Sport, Gayton Mckenzie.